Hey, what's up to everybody out there? Welcome to another edition of the Roundtable Talk. I am your host, C Money, and in today's episode, we're going to do a few episodes today. First off, I'm here at the Northside Metro Rail Station, which is also called the Northside Transit Village. Well, this is not the basis of the show, but we're going to be walking to where we're going to be talking about we're talking about changes in this episode and in the other episodes coming up. We're talking about, the changes in certain areas, particularly areas, basically flea market areas. This is the Northside Transit Village. This building just opened up recently. They put several apartment buildings here, and this is another gentrification situation where a lot of these metro rail stations, and we did videos in the past, they're being transferred and gentrified to where they're adding apartment complexes to these stations, to where they're calling them transit villages, where they have apartments that sit across the way where used to be parking lots, it used to be empty lots or empty areas, and they're transforming them into apartments, which are low-income apartments. This used to be an empty area right here, and they turned it into a apartment building. And they had an area in the back which used to be a parking lot. They turned it into an apartment building. Now the parking lot still exists. They just combined it with the parking for the residents of these buildings, and also they turned it into a parking garage. So if you're using the Metro Rail, you can park in the parking garage. That's the same for the residents. It's just that you will have to pay a fee. Now, what you see across the street here from the Northside Metro Rail Station, we are at Northwest 79th Street and 31st Avenue, is basically an open lot that is a storage facility for a lot of 18-wheelers, like the one that's passing through here. And this area, which is west of the Northside Shopping Center, I don't know if you can see the one of the top of the building over there. This is west of the Northside Shopping Center. So this lot here it's actually history, because in 1985, and by the way, before I begin my, embark, a lot of the research that I did on today's episode is not going to be, I haven't did a lot of research. Like, I did research, but there wasn't a lot to go on. This lot here used to be the USA flea market. Now, as I was saying, the flea market opened up in 1985. I had to do extensive research because, there's not a lot of information on this area or on this location. So this is where the USA flea market exists. It opened up in 1985, and it became the number one flea market here in South Florida. And predominantly because of the fact of all the amenities it had to offer. Throughout the 1990s and the early 2000s, it became a predominant hotspot for the Liberty City urban residents. It had a lot of things. It had, I used to go here to get my haircut from one of my barbers. Sometimes I come here and look for a nice little outfit when I was going out when I was in my younger days. And, they had carnival rides for kids, to come and play, ride the carnival rides. They eventually had video games as well, an arcade, and they had a stage and entertainment area where they hosted several events where it was like little shows and stuff like that. So they had several events that evolved over here. I'm going to probably go across the street because it's kind of hot, so I'm going to do most of mine talking about this across the street. Now, this was a premier spot. Now, before the flea market was here, I don't know if it advanced, but in this area where I'm at, there used to be a pantry pride supermarket, or grocery store, I should say. There was a Pantry Pride grocery store. Now, I can't really get much info on that. If you guys know any info on the Pantry Pride location that was here, or if you know the history behind it, you can comment at the bottom of this page as well to give me more in-depth of information on this. Now, I don't know if the Pantry Pride was here when the flea market opened and it coexists with the flea market, but I know the location of the Pantry Pride that was there, it was the staging area for where they used to have performances and stuff like that, and used to have like events and stuff like that. That's where they used to be at. And also had a bathroom, and they had a food court. You know, a lot of flea markets, they really don't have food courts. And this was one of the flea markets that actually had a food court. Even though you had food restaurants throughout the flea market, but the food court was where the food, where a bunch of restaurants sat, and that was also where the carnival ride sat. Now, I'm gonna go across the street. Now, after a while, during the mid 2000s, they eventually took away the carnival rides to where, you know, because I remember my nephew was born in my youngest nephew was born in the mid 2000s, and you know, like when he was young, I took him here and put him on some rides and stuff. Had the carnival rides, you know, the little kiddie ride. They had a train ride, a carousel, and the little swings and other little rides. And it was only like you buy a ticket from one of the restaurants there, and you get to, you know, ride the rides. So when it ended up coming down, they ended up eventually taking away the children's kiddie rides. Now, there was so much speculations behind the flea market closing, and there was talks about what was being replaced. Now, one of the things that said was supposed to be replaced was that they were supposed to build a Walmart here in this location. But since this is the Liberty City side, because right here at this light is Northwest 32nd Avenue. So right at the light, west of this light is where the Walmart was built. Because there was talks that the Walmart would be built here in the old Flea Market USA location. But it got built on the other side of 32nd Avenue, because on 32nd Avenue and 79th Street basically separates Liberty City from Hialeah. If you go further south of 32nd Avenue, towards the south end, like near 54th and all of that, you're in the Brownsville area, which is also called Brown Subs. But here it's basically the north side Liberty City area. And when you cross 32nd Avenue going west, you're in Hialeah. So instead of building, and you all know that there isn't a Walmart down here that's in the urban areas of Miami or South Florida. They're all in the suburb middle class area. So to make space, they put it across the street in Hialeah. Because I'm quite sure if you Google the address of Walmart 79th Street, it will probably say Hialeah. There was another talks of building an apartment complex here, which do some concern as well, that they're building an apartment complex. Now, the apartment complex was never set in stone. The Walmart was set in stone, it's just that it got built at another location. But here, the apartment complex was never set in stone. So, this has been closed for roughly over 5 years now, because I'm not going to say 10 years, but I know it's been closed during the pandemic, and it's now 2025, so this has been closed for a minute. Now, I would say less than 10 years this has been closed, or it might have been closed for about 10 years. And it became a storage unit for tractor trailers, trucks, and, you know, 18-wheelers and vehicles, you know, 18-wheelers and their trailers. It has been the store. Now, I don't know if people actually pay to store their stuff here, or it's just a free place to store your stuff here. But to me, this is what our history goes to. a lot of these places and a lot of these historical places get torn down to be rebuilt as apartment complexes or something that's not useful, like this storage facility for trucks and trailers and stuff. You know, I've seen trucks and trailers and tractor locations that are being, you know, and I've seen locations like they have one in Opa-locka where it's a storage unit or it's like a trailer parking, or but they do have a building where, you know, you can go in, you can pay to store your thing there, and they have showers if you're, you know, a driver, you know, just like on the road when you go to these rest stops and these, you know, truck stops and stuff like that. They have showers for the truck drivers that, you know, need to take a shower and stuff like that. This is not one of them. This is just an old flea market parking lot that got gentrified into, this is the old flea market location that got gentrified into just a parking facility for tractors and trailers and things like that. Now, I often wonder what will be in the next 10 years of this place, because I know that sooner or later somebody's going to buy this location. There's a truck moving in the parking area. I know eventually somebody is going to buy this location and probably turn it into something interesting. I thought it would have been probably another shopping center, but apparently that's not the case because of the fact that it has not made any movement ever since they closed down the flea market. Now, that flea market was a pinnacle point of a lot of people, and I myself, you know, was one of those people. You know, like I said earlier in this episode, I said I used to come here and get a haircut. I brought my nephew here to go ride the little carnival rides. Sometimes just go get a bite to eat here from one of the restaurants. Sometimes I go to, like, if I'm going on a nice little, you know, something like a party or something, I'll come here and buy a little nice outfit and things like that. It's a lot that plays the weight. Now, also across the street from here, there's another empty lot that sits over here too. It's right there on 30th Avenue. Now, that is an empty lot that used to also belong not to this flea market, but it was another basically outdoor flea market. But that didn't last long. It was just like a few vendors out there. And then it became a facility. It became a CDL facility where they was training people who was learning how to drive tractor trailers and trucks and buses to get their CDL license. So there was a training facility for CDL patrons. But that eventually got closed down as well, and it became an empty lot and as well. And of course, next to that empty lot is, of course, the Northside Shopping Center, what we did a video on a while back. Now, if you have any recognition or any idea of what this land or lot will become in the near future, please comment at the bottom of this page. I would like to hear more about it, because as of right now, there were no information or speculations on what to become of this. Remember, there was only two ideas that were supposed to come of it. There was supposed to be a Walmart that was supposed to be built here that got built a half a block over, and there was also speculations of an apartment complex that was supposed to be built here. But a lot of the apartment complex got built across the street at the Metro Rail station, where we're at now, and we're here under the train station. And as you can hear the train coming, that's the southbound train as well. So this took a lot of speculations on what was to become of this area. If you have any, you know, if you have any memories of this place, you can email me, roundtable00@yahoo.com. You can also comment at the bottom of this page as well, So we're gonna come back over here to the Northside train station. Now I'm gonna go into the train station because I'm gonna show you how this looks from the train station perspective. We're gonna go up and going inside. We're gonna show you how now this is one of the newest locations here. So now we're gonna come up here, and this is where we started at. So now we're gonna come over here, and this is the parking lot for the Metro Rail riders and for people who live in this complex, and this is the newest one and the newest one here. So now we're gonna go and we're gonna tap our card, of course, and we're gonna go up because I'm going to show you how all of this look from the train station. Now this station served as a popularity spot because this is where people get off at to either go to the north side shopping center, which is roughly about 2 blocks away from here, which is probably a 5-minute walk depending on how you walk, or they used to come out here and just cross the street to go to the flea market. Now when the flea market was open, they also had their own shopping bags, and on the shopping bags it used to always say across the street from the 18th Metro Rail Station, or the 18th, stuff like that, which was back in the day, this was the 18th Metro Rail Station because they was counting from the Dayland South Metro Rail Station all the way north. So it was considered the 18th Metro Rail Station, and they used to have a picture of the Metro Rail near the flea market. So they had a picture. Now this is how it looks from here. Now you can tell this is the section, like I said, where the Pantry Pride used to be at, and that was part of the flea market when they started doing the shows and stuff like that. And then everything else is kind of, see, that's a bus over there, and they have a lot of these buildings. You can see the north side shopping center from here, and there is a big old empty lot field that sits in between this and this, because there's a street here, and then once you cross the street there's another empty lot. And then there's the Northside Shopping Center. That's the empty lot that I told you that they was an outdoor flea market. And then eventually it got shut down to where it became a CDL testing site for patrons who wanted to practice to learn their CDL license, to go for their CDL license. Now, I don't know. I have not been inside of here. Now, this, I don't know what is to become of this or what's supposed to come of this area, but this, I know there's a lot of, there's a, whatever this pink bus is, and there's a lot of tractor trailers. I don't know if this is for long-term storage or short-term storage, but I'm quite sure they pay a fee to store here, because I know this lot is not going to be just sitting here and people park their stuff for free. I know they're probably going to have to pay a hefty price to store their stuff here. You got rid of a flea market just to make this a storage facility. To me, that's weird. Like, I don't get it. You tore down the flea market because there was talks about doing a Walmart here, and then the Walmart got located just west of this location. I'm going to show you as I go up. And then there was talks about an apartment complex that never got built. So now you got to look at what is what. So we're going to come over here. And we're going to take a walk over here. And I'm going to show you over here. Now this is the Northside Metro Rail Station. And see, this is the newest building that got built. This is the recent building that got built. It's high rise. Now if you look over here, you see there's a Ross Dress for Less, and next to it is a DD's, because DD's is part of the Ross family. And you can see right here, that is where the Walmart sits. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so you can get an understanding of it. That is where the Walmart sits. That is the Walmart that was supposed to be built over here in this location. But as I told you before, this street here, 32nd Avenue, is the location is the boundaries of Liberty City to Hialeah. Because once you cross over 32nd Avenue to get to the west of 32nd Avenue, you go into the Hialeah area. And I don't think that they wanted a Walmart in the urban areas of Liberty City. So they decided, let's make it west of 32nd Avenue, where the urban people, now that Walmart does get crowded. It is crowded. I'm gonna tell you, like, everybody goes there because that's the Walmart that I get my orders delivered from when I do my online delivery. They give me this Walmart. I don't like it because they never really have a lot of stuff in stock, and I have to do substitution. I done had issues with that several times. But because this is the only Walmart that is closest to where I stay at, for me to actually get anything from there. But when I go out, I go to other Walmarts and do my shopping. You know, I try to go to, you know, Walmarts in either Hialeah or, you know, the northern part of Miami, maybe the southern part of Miami, depending on what I'm getting. But at the same time, you know, they didn't want a lot of the Liberty City residents go here. So they always often say the best time to come is in the mornings. So this is what gentrification looks like when you take away historical history. Now, granted, this was, it opened up in 1985 from what online sources say. But to me, 1985, that's based over 40 years. So basically, that's a historical site. It's just that now you closed it, tore it down just to build a parking facility for tractor trailers and 18-wheelers. To me, it doesn't sound right. But that's what they wanted. And now it sits an empty location. Like I say, if you have any memories of the USA Flea Market, email me, roundtable00@yahoo.com. You can also comment at the bottom of this page as well. If you have any pictures or anything, feel free to share them, because I would like to see what your fondest memories. I mean, one of my memories is it used to be one of the hottest flea markets here in South Florida, where you can go and get, you know, a sandwich, some clothes. I mean, I used to sometimes buy CDs and music from here. We'll talk about that story later, and a lot of the things. But this is the Roundtable Talk. We are here at Northside Metro Rail Station, here at the old USA Flea Market location. And this is it. As always, stay safe, stay blessed, stay hydrated because it is hot out here. And I will see you in a little bit in the next episode. We are taking our way further north to another location that is similar to this, and we're going to be talking about that. So take care, and I'll see you in a little bit.